What happened while we were away brought to you by the tariff war rolls on. President Trump posted a clarification yesterday on certain electronic exemptions to his tariffs against China, saying on Truth Social, quote, "Nobody is getting off the hook for the unfair trade balances. There was no tariff exception announced on Friday. They are just moving to a different tariff bucket." This morning, chip-making giant NVIDIA announced plans to build their supercomputers for the first time entirely within the United States. Before that announcement, here's what former Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen had to say about reshoring American manufacturing.
But I really think that's a pipe dream and not something that is likely to be accomplished. And
Trump National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett is bullish.
Everybody that the president has talked to in this space has made commitments, big commitments, hundreds of billions of dollars, up to trillions of dollars, to onshore the foundries that we need to make sure that America has great semiconductors, the best semiconductor industry in the world, and actually very, very secure national security as well. And so right now there are things that are coming online that we negotiated last time, and then there's a horse race to see who can get here the fastest. And I think that the horse that wins that race is going to have the biggest prize.
Moving on, an immigration judge in Louisiana has ruled that graduate student at Columbia and pro-Hamas organizer Mahmoud Khalil can indeed be removed from the country on national security grounds. On the case of that gang member who some say was mistakenly deported to El Salvador, here's White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller.
A district court judge said unconscionably that the president and his administration have to go into El Salvador and extradite one of their citizens, an El Salvadorian citizen, so that would be kidnapping, that we have to kidnap an El Salvadorian citizen against the will of his government and fly him back to America, which would be an unimaginable act and an invasion of El Salvador's sovereignty. So we appealed to the Supreme Court, and it said clearly no district court can compel the president to exercise his Article 2 foreign powers in any way whatsoever. DOJ called me after that Supreme Court ruling, and they said, "This is amazing. We won this case 9-0. We are in excellent standing here." So this has been portrayed wrong for 72 hours in the media. They said the most a court could ever compel you to do would be to facilitate return, which would basically mean if El Salvador voluntarily sends him back, we wouldn't block him at the airport. We would put him back into ICE detention, and then he would be deported either back to El Salvador or somewhere else. The Supreme Court said that is the most the government can be expected to do. So we won the case handily. The misreporting on this has been atrocious.
Okay,
Secondly,
I appreciate
he was
the
not, no, Bill, it's important. He was not mistakenly sent to El Salvador.
Okay, so do you...
Over the past few days, footage has emerged of increasingly dramatic and aggressive deportation actions from Immigration and Customs Enforcement, including this from Colorado, where ICE raided a pro-illegal immigration parade. Also in Colorado, Democrats in that state's legislature are pushing for a bill that would take custody away from parents who refuse to use their own children's preferred pronouns. Republican State Representative Jarvis Caldwell spoke in opposition to the bill.
So you can call it hate or whatever you want. I'm a parent. I love my kids. And the idea that someone is trying to pass a bill that could potentially make me lose my custody because I don't play into the delusions of a small child, that's why we're pissed off. Because you're going after our families. You are coming for the kids.
In Pennsylvania, an arsonist attempted to burn down the governor's residence of Josh Shapiro while he and his family were sleeping. The cowardly arsonist managed to heavily damage interior portions of the home. Fortunately, the governor and his family were able to get out unharmed. In Wisconsin, a teen was arrested last month for murdering his parents. Investigators now say he did it to gain the financial means and autonomy to carry out an assassination attempt on President Trump. Nikita Kasip, a 17-year-old, was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and 2 counts of hiding a corpse. Authorities said he had purchased a drone for an attack on President Trump and planned to flee to Ukraine. In Iowa, Governor Kim Reynolds had the shocker of all shockers on Friday.
After a lot of thought, prayer, and conversations with my family, I have decided that I will not seek re-election in 2026. This wasn't an easy decision because I love this state and I love serving you. But when my term ends, I will have had the privilege of serving as your governor for almost 10 years.
And finally, there's this. An altar from the Teotihuacan culture, the pre-Hispanic heart of what became Mexico, was discovered at Tikal National Park in Guatemala. Archaeologists say the altar was used for human sacrifices, especially of the child variety. Maria Belen Mendez, an archaeologist who was not involved with the project, said of the discovery, quote, "We see how the issue of sacrifice exists in both cultures. It was a practice course, it's not that they were violent, it was their way of connecting with the celestial bodies. So bloody but mostly non-violent child sacrifices, according to that archaeologist. And that's what happened while we were away.